I think a glass of champagne is always a happy thing to have in the morning.
That would be lovely.
You're paying?
I'm absolutely paying, yeah. See if we can get the list of champagne and see what we should order. Okay.
If you'd like to start with some Via Card. Sparkling.
Yeah. There's so many choices here.
How do you choose a breakfast champagne? What do you normally serve for breakfast?
It depends what you'd like. Usually people have a mimosa, something.
Yeah, let's have something like, let's have the De la Motte Blanc de Blanc.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. What were you doing when you first started working on your MW?
I was, that was many years ago. I was...
How many years ago?
Soon I will be a member of what we call the 21 Club.
Okay.
I think next year, which means 21 years since passing. So I think it's been about 20 years. It was 1992 that I passed. And at the time, I was involved in the wine business, but in a very specific way in the financial side, helping wineries raise money or acquire or be acquired. I was an investment banker for Hamrick & Quist. With a very specific focus on building an investment banking practice geared toward the wine industry. My grandparents lived in Vouvray. My grandfather made wine a little bit, his father much more. We spent all our summers there, so in the vineyards, in the wine caves, exploring, doing.
But you're not making Vouvray now?
No, drinking. Drinking. I learned from my grandfather the importance of wine and food matching, because we would eat meals that were out of the 19th century. They'd last for 3 hours, and course after course after course of different things. It would start off with little rillettes,
Of course, you're in Vouvray.
from Ardoise. And carottes râpées and traditional things, and maybe then go on to a fish dish and then to a meat dish, and I learned that with the rillettes, it was really pretty good with Vouvray. And then when we went to like the carottes râpées, that was pretty good with Vouvray. And then, the fish was good with Vouvray, and the meat was good with Vouvray.
It's been my experience, Jean-Michel, that everything is good with Vouvray. Chenin Blanc is one of the most underrated great wines of the world. I think it's just astonishing stuff. But who was your mentor? I mean, how did you decide to get an MW? Did someone convince you to do that, or?
Right. Well, I was my mentor, so there were no mentors at the time, for me at least, in the system, and there was no study course. I remember these are the olden days. I first heard of the Institute through a Christmas present from my grandmother, my German grandmother, who gave me a book with the world's hardest exams and tests. And it had the London taxi driver's test and the Mensa test, and one of them was the MW test. And I was here in California working in the wine world. I looked at that and I said, that looks hard. Okay, that looks interesting. And I didn't really think much more of it until maybe 6 months later. I saw an ad advertising the fact, or looking for applicants from outside the UK for the Master of Wine exam. So I sent in a letter, letters at the time, no email, and got a reply back.
You are really dating us.
Yes, I know, I'm sorry. And getting a reply back saying, well, please submit an essay on this question. And I can't remember the question. And a month or two later, I got a letter back saying, well, we'll be in San Francisco. We'd like you to do a blind tasting. So, I did that. And I think that's maybe, one of the first experiences I've had with a blind tasting exam.
Oh, really?
So I was,
Had you done blind tasting before that, as a fun thing? Or
yes, but not. I was part of the Vintners Club. We would. I don't know if you know that in San Francisco, but it's a great institution. Once a week,
So you had some
12 wines.
experience looking at wines without knowing what they were. Yeah.
Yeah, but not in a sort of exam setting. And it was, I think it was only 6 wines, not 12. But I was sure I'd gone way over my head and failed. And a few weeks later, I get a letter saying, okay, if you want to sit the exam in May, go ahead. And that was 6 months later, without a study program, without any of that. And
Wow.
I just said,
The exam was easier then, though, wasn't it? Now that you're involved with the administration of the institute, how would you describe the structure? Because I'm aware of the structure a little bit, but how do you describe the structure of the institute, the way that it's organized and run?
well, the most important thing for people to remember, and for all of us, both within the institute but outside, is we're a membership organization.
Mm-hmm.
We are made up of our members. We're owned by our members, and while certain of our structures, look like the structures you might find in a company,
Mm-hmm.
we really are a membership organization. Now I've moved up every 2 years to the role of chairman.
Is there any specific goal that you have to accomplish during that time, or anything that you'd like to see moving forward with the IMW?
Yeah, I think what I can really bring here is some of my experience from helping to build companies and sustainable, successful ones for the long term. And so while it's not necessarily sexy stuff, helping to really strengthen the gains, we consolidate the gains, strengthen the organization. That's one of the things I know I can contribute here. Our strength is our membership. That's our real asset, and our members are diverse. Just as the wine world is diverse, wine doesn't come, in one flavor and with one personality, and neither do our members.
Can you think of any way specifically in which the non-UK trade MWs have really influenced the structure or direction of the IMW?
Oh, it's happening every day. If you look at it, and it's our membership is probably 2/3 UK based, 1/3 everywhere else. But our student body is exactly the reverse. Our candidates are
So the expansion is happening around the world much more. Yeah.
1/3 or less based in the UK, and 2/3, 3/4 based around the world. And so our study programs, our educational efforts, our outreach, and because of that, the influence is daily. One of the mistakes it's so easy to make when we're involved professionally in the wine world is to think of it as a monolith.
Yeah.
That it is about the thing we're doing, and there's so many segments, and whether it's I think numerically, so price points or geographies or size, and they are all different, and they have different personalities and different reasons for being, and often we shoehorn things into our conception, and what you've done.
You tell them all?
Fantastic, thank you. Thank you. The morning's just gotten cheerier. That event to me has always kind of celebrated a bit the fact that, hey, the interesting things, greatness can come from all the different sectors.
Here's our wine.
Thank you. Lovely.
Congratulations on your new role as
Thank
chairman
you.
of IMW.
Thank you for the morning sparkles.
Pleasure.
Our mission is to really promote excellence in the wine trade from the beginning. And we promote that some through our activities, but really we promote it through our members and the quality of their understanding in what they do in their daily lives. That's what we're about.